Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I'm Mondo here with Garen Holmes. Today we are taking on the second half of the March Madness bracket. We got the South and the Midwest. God forbid we throw a North in there. We have to toss in Midwest. I don't know why they do that, but here the fuck we are. Let's not waste any time, boys. Nothing has happened at all since we've approached this. Houston, Longwood. Houston being obviously arguably the best team in college basketball this season. Longwood having one of the greatest names in college basketball, period. Holmes, let's start with you for some analysis.
Yeah, dude. Well, this one I'm not gonna have too much on. This is gonna be an easy one just for me to take Houston to move on to the round of 32. I will say though, I feel like whenever you are gonna bring this up, I saw this post on Reddit. Past 3 years, a number one seed or a number two seed has gotten upset by a team with a phallic euphemism in their name.
Yes, they have.
So what was it like? Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Peter's, and I'm blanking on the third one. There's a third one in there that I'm not thinking of.
What's phallic about St. Peter's?
Peter is a dick.
Peter, like you're Peter.
Oh,
Yeah. I forget what the third one is. I saw this yesterday on Reddit. I wish I had it up right in front of me now. So listen, if this happens, if Longwood actually upsets Houston here, we're living in a matrix. I don't know what else to tell you here. Houston is, we talked about it, they're the second best team in the nation when it comes to adjusted defense. The offense really isn't too bad either. I think, to be honest, they are going to come out with fire under their asses for the way that they played in that Big 12 championship game against Iowa State, taking a tough loss that they did in that championship game. I think they're going to want to come out and absolutely rout Longwood. So, having said that, I will likely be taking Houston on the first half line. I'm going to pull that up right now while you guys give your analysis so you guys can get a firm number on that. But that is a bet that I'm going to be going with in this game. I think they're going to come out hot, want to put this team away early, and easily move on to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing we need to bring up is if Longwood doesn't take on Morehead State, there's a problem if that's not the final matchup, right?
it's such a close.
Everyone's dreaming of that. They're both terrible fucking teams, and here we are. We have the opportunity to do the greatest thing possible, and we better make that fucking happen. But anyway, Houston will smoke Longwood. I will take the over 128.5 points. That is set extremely low for a number one seed taking on a number 16 seed. I am going to hammer that. Gary, whose logo do you like more?
So this one was not about the logo. So for this next round or for the second half of the bracket, I guess I should say, because we did the other half last week or last episode, I took it to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT who would be the winner out of these groups, determining by A or B, because ChatGPT freaks out when you start talking about sports records to it. So I said A or B, and it gave me A, which correlates to Houston. I took Houston.
Do we have photo proof?
I can pull it up.
I'm just asking.
No, this is
People are
not
gonna
this.
question it. You know, your Twitter haters are gonna question it. I want to make sure you're ready with the info.
Hey,
All right,
bro.
I will say Houston minus 14 and a half, minus 120 first half. I will be hammering that.
There we go. Nebraska, Texas A&M, Texas A&M being the 9 seed. I'm going to take them plus a point and a half. Not really much else to say here. Nebraska is a very overrated team. Texas A&M is very sneaky and has the opportunity to run deep into this tournament. The potential upset round 2 against Houston. So I feel good about A&M, so I'm going to hammer them. Holmes.
Yeah, honestly, I flip flopped back and forth a lot on this game. Nebraska is rated higher than Texas A&M is, and according to KenPom, I think Nebraska is ranked 28th, and Texas A&M is ranked 44th. But the reason I like Texas A&M here, the strength of schedule was so much better. Obviously, playing in the SEC, you have a lot more opportunities to play teams that have a lot more talent and they're just a lot better than teams that you might have out there in the Big Ten. We know that the Big Ten has not been very strong in college basketball. So here, simply put, I'm going to ride with Texas A&M here.
GPT gave me A&M as well.
Love
So
it.
That they did. All right. We got the PMT battle, Wisconsin, JMU. JMU finally makes it into the tournament. They have been dominant all year long. That won't keep up. They will lose, but I will take them plus the 5.5 point spread. Holmes.
I am also going to take JMU plus 5.5, but I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that plus 175 money line as well, because I do think this is one of the biggest ones that I can see an upset happening in. James Madison was 31-3 during the course of the season. They have a fantastic record. If you don't know about that, that is the same amount of losses as UConn, the #1 team in the nation right now. I also saw this stat on Twitter earlier. I wanted to make sure I shared this with you guys. James Madison, they are 17-0 this season when they shoot better than 37.5% from three. Wisconsin gives up the highest 3-point percentage of any team in the field at 37.1%. For this reason, I'm going to take James Madison with the upset here.
It's Wisconsin.
Thanks, Gare.
Keeps it short and sweet.
Fucking
I love
hell.
it.
I mean,
All
it's
right, number
ChatGPT, bro. Like,
I mean, give something aside from just a team name.
all right.
Anything, dude. Number 4, Duke. Number 13, Vermont. If there is one team that I wish could be upset in the first round, it is Duke. I fucking hate Filipowski. With that being said, I am taking Vermont plus 12.5. I feel like Duke starts out slow in this tournament. I see a faked injury coming in, and I hopefully see Vermont pulling off an upset.
Why do you hate Filipowski?
He's a pussy.
Somebody
He
stepped on
fakes
his
the
leg.
injuries for clout, and I don't like that.
All right.
Yeah, I'll say, Mondo, I will probably lean toward the Vermont spread on this with you. I think they can keep it fairly close here with Duke. I'm going to take Duke to actually move on to the round of 32. I just think this is kind of a mismatch nightmare actually for Vermont and Kyle Filipowski. He's obviously leading the Dukies in rebounds per game, points per game. I think he is going to
Faked
be
injuries per game.
fairly unstoppable for Duke, and faked injuries. Well put. But I do like Vermont to at least keep it close here. I think I agree with you that Duke might come out a little bit slower than we expect, but I do see them as the better team here. They have more talent on that roster, top to bottom, than Vermont. So I'm gonna go with Duke to advance, but I will be taking Vermont plus the points.
Duke. 4 letters. Gary. 4 letters. Wins.
God, I should just
4
kick you
letters.
off the fucking call.
For this
Good
reason,
God.
I am taking Duke.
Oh man, this is gonna drive me crazy today. Okay.
Told me to give you a reason.
Yeah, whatever. Texas Tech, number 6. NC State, number 11. NC State coming off that ACC tournament run. This will be no different. I am calling the upset here. NC State, just to be safe, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that 4.5 point spread. I am just very high on NC State to make it out of the first round.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with you on that. I think this is a spot where NC State can get the upset. I'm gonna take them plus the points. What are they? I think plus 4.5 right now. I'm gonna take them on the money line as well, plus 180. Honestly, they've gotten some really, really good wins, especially in that ACC tournament. Really great win against UNC, really great win against Duke. Syracuse, pretty decent team. I would say Virginia would be a good win until we watched that play-in game last night. So Virginia, that is not really a good win. I'm going to take NC State here. I just don't really believe in Texas Tech. I've kind of been watching them most of the year, and they seem to be an unpredictable team for me. Every time I seem like I have a good read on them, I don't. So I'm just going to take NC State here. Just try to stay away from Texas Tech.
NC stands for no cap state. No cap. I think NC State is going to win. No cap. So I'm taking NC State.
Kentucky, Oakland, not much to say here. Kentucky is one of the fastest pacing teams in college basketball. They will wipe the floor with Oakland. that being said, I am going to take the under 165.5. I don't think it's going to hit. I feel like Kentucky's going to get out to a really early lead and lock it down on defense. I don't see Oakland putting up nearly enough points to cover that. So that's my pick for this game. But Kentucky is one of those turn and burn teams where they'll fly through the first, potentially fly through the second, but their pacing is too quick. They're going to need to slow down if they want the energy to keep running in the third. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think pretty much everything you said. They are the 5th ranked team in adjusted offense in Ken Palm. They go on offense. They will put up a ton of points, but they're ranked 110th in adjusted defense. So they're very similar to Alabama, where they can play a very high-paced offensive game, but they do not play a whole lot of defense, and they're going to give up some points. But I like what you said about them being able to start out very fast. I think this is a good opportunity to take a first half spread. I like the -8.5 in the first half to be able to get out to a pretty big lead. Maybe Oakland makes it a little bit closer in the second half and starts to dig into that lead a little bit because of Kentucky's not great defense. But their offense, I think, is just way too strong for Oakland to overcome in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to be taking Kentucky to move on.
I'm scared to say anything. On my bracket,
I don't care if you stick with Chat GPT, but like, give me some sort of analysis. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I took Kentucky. I took a lot of these Southern schools in my bracket as the outright winner, just because I feel like SEC ball this year was like at an all-time high of like contests. I feel like a lot of people were just trying to make names for themselves, and I feel like for that reason, that's why I took a lot of these SEC teams in the matchups. But for this one, I took Kentucky.
All right, next game. There's no lines available. Nobody really gives a shit. Everyone knows what side we're on. It's Florida. We're winning. We're putting the money on it. That's all we have to say. Next we got number 2 Marquette versus number 15 Western Kentucky. Marquette is always like a sleeper good team in college basketball. I feel like they just don't get talked about as much as they should. With that being said, Western Kentucky is a very strong team pacing wise. They know how to run up and down the floor. I just don't know that they'll match up defensively well against Marquette. So I'll take Marquette -14.5.
Yeah, I am going to be with you here on Marquette. I think this is the year that Shaka Smart actually gets his team a little bit deeper into the tournament. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens if they match up with Florida, because Florida's got a great matchup against them in terms of size. So I'll probably honestly pick Florida in that matchup if they round up together in the round of 32. But Marquette, I was just looking at their strength of schedule. Make sure I have it up here. They have the 7th rated strength of schedule in the nation. They have played a lot of tough teams, and to go 25-9 in the Big East, that is a fantastic record. I think Shaka Smart has these boys ready to go. I do think the one thing that will hurt them, and I don't know if it's necessarily going to be in this game, but I think Tyler Kolek, one of the best players for Marquette, he is not 100%. I don't even know if he's going to be out there on the floor for this first game. They might choose to rest him. They might choose to put him out there just as a decoy for this game, but I like Marquette being able to wipe the floor here. Do you have the spread on this game? I haven't seen it yet.
14.5.
14.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will probably end up taking that with Marquette. I do think even with Kolek not being at 100%, I think a lot of guys are going to be able to step up around him. They're a very, very balanced team as well. 22nd in adjusted offense, 20th in adjusted defense. They know how to play on both sides of the floor. We're going to take Marquette here.
I took Marquette as well. This one, I don't really have much to say about it. This was mostly a Chat GPT fueled pick. To be honest, I don't even know where Marquette is. So yeah,
It's
I
in
took Marquette though.
Wisconsin, Milwaukee, actually.
You know who else is from Milwaukee? Jeffrey
Should be
Dahmer.
interesting.
Jesus.
All right. Might be time to go back to the one-word answers. Down to the Midwest. We got Purdue. Purdue's gonna win. it doesn't matter what team comes in. I do hope Purdue gets upset in the second round, though, by hopefully TCU, but we will see. Holmes, I don't know if you have any analysis. I mean, we're kind of just waiting on the results of these games. So,
Yeah, not much here really, because obviously there isn't a lineup yet with the play-in game that's supposed to be going on today. But I'm going to be looking to take a Purdue first half spread here, very similar to what I was saying earlier. I don't know what matchup I was talking about. Gotta go. Oh, Houston. I think this is just another one of those matchups where Purdue had a really, really tough loss by 1 point in overtime to Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're going to want to come out on fire, put away whatever team they're going to be playing next as quickly as possible. So as soon as these lines drop, I'm going to definitely be looking at a Purdue first half spread. I think Zach Edey is going to dominate.
Yeah, Purdue. I mean, they're the number one seed in the fucking nation. Like, I'll take it.
okay. Utah State, TCU. I'm calling an upset here. TCU will win this game. And I'm so confident that I'm going to take them -4.5. Utah State does not deserve to be this high of a seed. I really don't understand why they are. Nor do I think TCU should be this low of a seed. I honestly think at the minimum they should have swapped places, but we'll see what happens. I'm taking TCU minus the points. I feel good about them. I feel like they're a much stronger team than Utah State. Holmes, hopefully you're with me here.
You're convincing me to take TCU because I think this was one of the games that I was very, very undecided on. These 8 and 9 matchups are obviously one of the toughest ones to predict. Um, I do think Utah State is not that bad of a team. They went 27-6 in the Mountain West Conference. They're 38th in adjusted offense, which is not bad at all. But you're definitely making me want to take TCU here. They had such a great end to their season. They look like they've been on fire. It's so tough for me to think that they're not going to come out here and continue to play as well as they've been playing down the stretch. So I think this is going to be really close. I am not going to place a bet on this game likely. I just want to watch this one play out. But I think you have convinced me that I should probably take TCU in this matchup.
I took TCU as well. I don't really know why. I just looked at my bracket and TCU looked better. So there you go.
Number 5, Gonzaga or Gonzaga, if you're from the Midwest. Number 12, McNeese. Not really much to say here. Gonzaga was blessed from a line with the gods at 7 points. I'm going to take that, the -6.5. It's just a classic scenario where you got to take the better team here. I know the 5 and 12 seed is usually where upsets happen, but I mean, the Bulldogs are averaging 85 points a game. And I know that's not much coming from a team in that week of a conference, but you know, they look better this year than last year. And that's saying something in my eyes. So, Holmes, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you here on Gonzaga. They have played incredible ball down the stretch. They have lost to St. Mary's twice in the past 2 months, once in March and once in February. Since then, they've only lost to Santa Clara by 1 point back on January 11th. They have won every single game since then, except for 2 of the matchups that they've had with really, really great St. Mary's team that they face out there a lot in the WCC. They're number 9 in adjusted offense this year. They know how to score. They know how to play great offense. They have really, really gotten it together. And I do think this is a year where not a ton of pressure is being put on them because they're not a super high seed. Like in recent years, they've been 1, they've been 2, they've been 3. They have been really up there with a lot of expectations to go deep in the tournament. And they fall short of it almost every single time. So I think this is the year with those lower expectations on their shoulder. They can play a little bit more freely. And I like them to get it done in this game. I will probably take them on the 6.5 line as well. I think that is a little bit too low. If they can continue their offensive prowess, I think they're going to blow out McNeese.
I mean, when was the last time Gonzaga wasn't a good team?
Tough to say.
I took Gonzaga.
Okay. I know we talked Marquette being banged up. I know we know the Florida Gators are banged up. There is not a single team more banged up in this tournament than number 4 Kansas heading into it.
Yep.
They take on number 13 Samford, and I know for that reason I don't need any more analysis, anything. Samford plus 7.5. I'm going to hammer that line. I just feel like the pace of play is going to be off for Kansas. It's just gonna be a clusterfuck in here. They have a lot of first year talent coming in, filling in the shoes of these old veteran players. It's just gonna be a shit show for Kansas. And I wouldn't be shocked if this was an upset.
Yeah, I would not either. I picked Samford in almost every single one of my brackets in this first round. I will be taking Samford with the points. I will be sprinkling some on the money line. Like you said, Kansas is ridiculously beaten up right now. I'm pretty sure Bill Self just came out maybe yesterday, the day before, and said that his best player was not going to be on the floor. He was not going to be playing during March Madness. I wish I remembered the name. Sorry about that. But one of the biggest things that I saw in terms of Samford, too, they're rated number 9th in the nation in terms of luck. So they have had a lot of things just fall their way this season. And I think this situation falls in line perfectly with how their season has been going. They get to face a Kansas team that normally you would think Kansas would wipe the floor with them, but with how much luck they have been having this season, I think this is a chance that they can definitely pull an upset, but I will 100% be taking them to at least cover this against Kansas.
This is one of those ones where I actually like just picked it because of the logo, no bullshit. And then after I submitted my bracket, I got a Twitter notification with the headline that Hart was just talking about where their best player isn't playing anymore. So I'm kind of fucked. But I took Kansas on my bracket, but if I were betting on it, I would definitely take Samford plus 7. That was the line you said, right? Plus 7?
Plus 7.5.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6, South Carolina. Number 11, Oregon. I know what these rankings show. Despite that, it is probably the most even matchup in this tournament. Offensively, defensively, strength of schedule, conference play, however you want to say it, this is an even matchup. And for that fact, I'm hammering an underdog in Oregon, and I'm taking the money line outright.
Yep, I was going to say the same thing as you. I am 100% taking the Oregon money line here. This is a team that has battled a ton of injuries all season long, and to still come out with the 23-11 record that they have, I think it's pretty impressive. I don't tend to think that South Carolina is as good as a lot of people make them out to be. A lot of games that I've seen in the SEC is that they don't really perform super well when they're playing great competition. And I see Oregon as a fantastic competitor right now. So I love Oregon in the spot. I am going to take them to upset South Carolina. I will be taking them on the money line.
I'm sticking with my ideology of sticking with teams from the South, and I took South Carolina.
Okay. We got number 3, Creighton, number 14, Akron. Before we get into this matchup at all, I need you guys to understand something. Creighton is definitely a massive dark horse to win it all this year. They've taken down Bama. They've taken down Marquette. They've taken down UConn. I mean, these guys run through everybody, literally everybody. And I wouldn't be shocked if they pull away this season with a tournament win. And then looking at the matchup as a whole, I'm taking the over 140.5, and here's why. If you look at 140, it's a 71-70 win, essentially, if it's evenly matched. Akron already averages 74 points per game. I expect them to go down at least 8 points. That puts them at 68. Creighton averages 80.5. I expect them to do a little bit higher than that. You put that together, and that is well over 140.5. For that fact, we are hammering the over in this game. How's that for some fucking mathematics?
Great, bro, because you literally took all of the words out of my mouth. I'm going to be taking the over. I'm probably going to be taking Creighton to cover the 12.5 spread here. They are one of the biggest dark horses in this whole tournament to win. I love this team. They're great from beyond the arc. I mean, this is a team that I have just loved absolutely all season long. Number 13 in adjusted offense, 24th in adjusted defense. They get it done again on both sides of the ball. I love this team. I think they're going to wipe the floor with Akron. Got to take Creighton here.
I took Creighton as well.
Love it. Next, we got number 7, Texas, number 10, Colorado State. If you don't have this circled as a potential upset, I do not know what to tell you. On paper, Colorado State is better than Texas. Sure, they average a little bit less points per game, but they also hold teams to less points per game. They're also 2-0 against top 25 teams. Texas, 3-8. 8 losses to top 25 teams. I don't know what this is. All I know is Colorado State sure as shit is gonna win this game. Colorado State money line.
Yep, I'm with you here. This is a pretty big upset spot in my eyes. I think Colorado State honestly is the better team. They're a lot more balanced than Texas is. Texas plays a decent brand of offense, but their defense, I think it's rated 62 in KenPom. Not that great at all. Colorado State, they're a lot more balanced in being able to play offense, play good defense. I think they're going to be able to keep up with Texas. Not only keep it within the spread, but I like them for an upset win here. Because if Texas advances by the skin of their teeth, it's not like I see them getting any further than the round of 32.
Mm-hmm.
I took Texas, but it's still always horns down. Fuck Texas, but
All right. Last matchup to talk about. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 15, St. Peter's. We know St. Peter's, that mystery Cinderella team that always finds their way in, always does something, this or that. Tennessee is a great team. I think they have a strong pace of play. I do not think they put up as much offensively as they should be doing. With that being said, I do think Tennessee is going to take this game very easily. I will take St. Peter's plus 21.5. There's a lot of young talent on this Tennessee team. I could see them starting out very slow, potentially even be losing after the first quarter and then lock it in after that point. So I like St. Peter's plus 21.5, but I do have Tennessee winning it.
Yeah, I don't have much of a read in terms of a bet on this game, but Tennessee should easily be moving on to the next round here. The number 3 team in the nation in defense. Rick Barnes knows how to get these boys to play fantastic defense. I think this is just a spot where you can't count on St. Peter's to be doing the same thing that they did last year in the tournament. It was a fantastic run for them. They had a great Cinderella story, but I just can't see him repeating it this year. I think Tennessee has what it takes to be able to move on and potentially go pretty deep. So we're definitely going to be taking Tennessee to move on here.
Tennessee.
Good job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have all the info you need. You have all the bets you need. You have all the bracket plays you need. This is the foolproof system for March Madness this year. Part 1 from Tuesday or Monday, whenever the fuck we recorded. Part 2 today, coming out tomorrow. Get ready. This is March. We will see you guys on the next episode after the first round. Peace.